balance.
When I was young, my daddy said, gotta keep one eye open in your bed, 'cause there's a time coming when the devil gonna come for you. So my trigger finger, stay prepared.
Arches National Park is huge. I spent most of the morning driving around, stopping at various vistas to, check out the views, do some in and out hikes, and then ended my time at Arches with a longer hike to the Delicate Arch. Overall, on a difficulty stance, it wasn't that bad, except as you got to the end, it got a little intimidating because we were pretty high up and I'm still dealing with a fear of heights. But it was really beautiful and it made for some great photos. From Arches National Park, I drove over to Basalt, Colorado. I spent about a night there. I had some friends, so I got to meet up with them in the evening and join them for a bonfire. And then the next morning, we did a hot yoga class together. From there, I wanted to drive to Boulder, so packed up the car the next morning, housed the breakfast burrito, and then drove to Boulder, Colorado.
Sexy baby.
Orange car. Just did a hot yoga class up there, view of this river, and then did a little cold. Boulder. Ironically, on this giant boulder or whatever the heck this mountain is that I just climbed up. Apparently, I gotta keep going. Ain't this, okay, here we go. All right. I'm not going up there. I slipped a few times. Inexperienced climber like myself, you gotta, no, I mean, this is good enough. Look at this. It's beautiful. Kick my ass. Look, I'm out of breath. So, turns out, I'm way off trail, and I ended up accidentally stumbling onto a scramble, which I climbed a quarter of the first flat iron here in Boulder, and I'm gonna take my inexperienced ass back downstairs and get back on the right track. Did not expect to do that. So this is where I came from. This is where I was supposed to go. This is where I went. Completely missing these guys. So back there was It was like some shit out of Lord of the Rings, like trying to find the path, right? Like there was this couple, me, we just couldn't find the way, and it turns out that it was these steps that were like in the rock, and it's like, what do I need to wait for moonlight to hit it and then speak friend in Elvish or some shit to be able to see this? Who sees this? And then down comes this dude walking down these little holes in the rock as if he's walking downstairs in his house to go get coffee. Casual as fuck. Yeah, it's a cool hike though. Well, if that wasn't a lesson in being present, I don't know what was. But Fear Heights is getting better, huh? Just walking around downtown Boulder, Colorado. Just did some work at the coffee shop. I'm about to go house this breakfast burrito that just, it's so good. Life-alteringly good. It's delicious. Pearl Street. From Boulder, I drove to Denver. In Denver, I stayed in the Rhino district, and I got a really cute apartment on Airbnb, which was close to lots of restaurants, kind of like a Reading-style terminal where it's like a giant food hall, and also a really cool place called the Improper Space, where you could go and do work, but then they are also adjacent to a climbing gym and yoga studio. So I got to go and hang out there, met some cool people. And then my last night there, I went to the Red Rocks Amphitheater and saw Zoo perform, which was a really cool show. It was just absolutely freezing. It was like the coldest night of the year that they had to date. Something like 25 degrees or something, but you bundled up and the theater was packed. It was a lot of fun. It was a really cool show. You've got the stage and then like the mountains to the side and behind you, and then you overlook right behind the stage. You can see the entire city of Denver all lit up at night. It was really beautiful, and I really want to go back. That was one of the coolest venues I've ever seen a concert in. From Denver, I drove south to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and spent the night there and explored a bit in the evening and then during the day, and then swung a left and drove to Tulsa, Oklahoma. There was nothing to do in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I found nothing to do in the evening and also nothing to do in the morning. So from there, I gunned it to Memphis, Tennessee, where I had some friends. My buddy Eric runs a phenomenal barbecue shop there, and they make some of the best ribs I've ever had, literally the tastiest ribs this side of the Mississippi. Got to see my buddy Alex as well. And I wanted to go to the Lorraine Motel to see the MLK exhibit, except it was closed. So
that's a lot of coffee.
after Memphis, I drove down to Huntsville, Alabama, visit my brother from another mother, Ed, hang out with him and meet my new godson. The kid's cool, he didn't do much. He still has my hat, hope he grows into it. After Huntsville, I drove up to Nashville, Tennessee, and it was awesome. It was lots of live music, lots of delicious food. The chicken sandwich at Hattie B's was phenomenal. I got to see my friends Jen, John, and Scott, and then had breakfast with John and Scott at Monell's, which was this delicious Southern comfort brunch situation. It's family style, so if there's a smaller group, they just sit you with strangers, and everybody sits at this giant table and shares this family-style brunch. While on my trip, my college friends Tommy and Meredith invited me to come visit them at their farm in Virginia on my way back. So I took them up on that offer, and on my way to their farm, I drove through Harrisonburg, which is where I went to college, JMU. It was really great seeing campus again. I got to see an old friend, Casey, my buddy's mom, Joy, and then did a really, really lovely, well, just, you know, memorative walk through campus, which has changed a tremendous amount. But it was really cool. It was a freezing morning, but incredibly sunny. Joy didn't realize we'd be walking that much, but thanks for being a trooper. And then from there, I set out to the farm. This is a lot of changes right now, but like that's predominantly where my squad used to cheer, and then the other squad was over there. Yeah, JMU was a good time. This is also where we graduated. Spent a lot of time here on graduation. Came here late at night, the night I graduated, and just kind of took the whole thing in, which was actually a really cool experience. So we had only won 2 championships before I got to the school. And then, lo and behold, we win in 2004. You're welcome. And then pretty consistently we've been keeping track. And even most recently, 2021. You're welcome, JMU. So I was also the social chair for the Student Duke Club, which was kind of like the spirit, whatever the fuck. Like, we hosted a lot of events, and this was the student section, and the Student Duke Club would hang out right around here. And it was the cheering section on that side. Pretty cool. Famous kissing rock. I never did get kissed on that rock. After JMU, I started driving towards my friend's farm. When I got there, we immediately had to go to his dad's birthday party, which was really cool. I was in this like family-style restaurant where they had all sorts of tchotchkes like all over the wall. Like the shelves were packed with random stuff, which was fun to peek at. We also went ATVing. Their daughter, who is Maryland State champ, taught me how to shoot a bow and arrow, which was a lot of fun. And then Meredith baked one of the tastiest apple pies I've ever had in my life. which I then took with me to my family's Thanksgiving dinner, and we devoured it.
Where you at, Rambo? Yeah, that's right.
And with that, I was back in the DC area. So my US road trip at this point was complete. I drove over 10,000 miles. It took about 4 months, and I crossed the country twice. And I can't wait to do it again. It was probably one of the coolest experiences of my life. And I highly recommend to anyone who has the time and the means to make a trip like that happen. We live in such a cool country. We have some of the most beautiful scenery that I've ever seen. It's so diverse and so rich that it's actually really difficult to pack. So I had way more stuff in my car than I needed, but I also did go through a ton of different climates, so I justify it that way.